File ribbon, and 5 basic tools of Adobe Illustrator. Welcome back to our lesson of File tab, or let's say File ribbon, and also 5 basic tools of Adobe Illustrator. So now we're going to do is open up a preset, which I did from the previous lesson. Let's say I'm just going to select any one of them if you want to. Let's say I'm going to do select on letter. And when I click on it, it will open up a workspace for me where I can work on. Now, I'm going to be showing you all the commands or all the tools which I have in File ribbon. So let's click on File, and then the first thing we have is New. If you want to open up a new workspace, press on New, and it will open up a new workspace for me by opening up this interface right now. And then you can select any of the presets you want, and then you can open up another workspace. Another advantage of using this is that it opens up a new tab. Let's say I'm going to use press on create. I want A4. I'm going to press on create, and we'll make it right beside our first one, which is letter. So you can see this is A4 and this is letter. So you can use whichever one you want. I'm going to cut one of these off so I can work on a single one. Now I'm going to press on file again, and then we have is new from template. Now, if you don't want to work on a blank worksheet, or let's say on a blank artboard, then you can press on new from template. It will open up the template interface so that you can select any of the templates you want, or even if you have any downloaded template, you can select that and open it up directly from your PC. Well, you can go off to adobestock.com, or let's say adobe.stocks, so that you can use whichever template you want to use. Or there are also a couple of websites on the net, so you can search them, download it, and also open it up on Adobe Illustrator so you can start working on it. Now press on file again, and then we have this open. And as you can see that there are also a couple of shortcuts, assigned to specific keys or specific commands. Let's say Control N for new, Shift Control N for template, open is Control and O, and all of them. Okay, you're gonna go through them one by one. Well, what happens is that when you use a shortcut key, or let's say your keyboard shortcuts, it just helps you get more efficient with it and also work more smoothly and save a lot more time. Now, if you want to open up any project from your file, or let's say previous, just press on open. It will open up the same interface so you can select on it and start working on it. After you select any of the file or any of this folder where you have your file, and then press on open, it will open up that specific work or specific project for you so that you can start working on it just where you left it. Then we have is open recent files. So any recent file which you worked on recently, you will be able to find it over here and you can use it whenever you want. And then we also have browse and bridge. As I don't have any bridge, well, I'm going to be skipping this, but you can also browse in your bridge, which is also a kind of a server, or let's say a site where you can browse and you can use whichever one you want. Then we have is close. If you want to close any tab or any open workspace, you can click on close or press on Control and W at the same time. You can also close all the tabs at once by pressing on close all or pressing on Alt, Control, and W all at the same time. Now, saving is a very important thing in Adobe Illustrator because obviously you don't want to lose any of the progress which you worked on or your hard work. So you have this option of save and save as. If you want to change the format, click on save as, and you'll basically find out an interface like this. And then you'll also be able to choose whichever file you want to start working on or whichever format you want to save it as. Select the folder, select where you want to save it, and press on OK, and then it will be saved. So we are done with save as. You can also save it as a copy. Let's say you saved something, okay? You did something, and just 2 seconds later, you change it back again, or, customize it a bit more, but you don't want to save it as a file, or let's say save it, okay? So you can save it as a copy. So same thing, but 2 variants. It's kind of like that. Now you can also save selected slices. Now, when you make slices, I'm going to be showing it to you a bit later. Okay, so you can also make slices in your artboard, and you also select the specific slices from your artboard and then save it up. Okay, it helps you to sometimes track where your data is or track where your design is, because you are going to put that specific, design in a specific slide sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to be like showing it to you later on too. And if you want the version history, whichever version you're using, then you can select on version history and it will give you all the history of it. Okay, now one thing I'm going to suggest you is that first off, whenever you're using Adobe Illustrator, stay connected to the internet, stay connected to your Adobe account, and also make sure that you are using a genuine version, because it will allow you to use all the functionality Adobe Illustrator has to offer, from the newest tools to the oldest tools, and also a lot of bug fix, which is going to make your work, or let's say your work here in Adobe Illustrator, to be a lot smoother than the ones which you use in the old versions. Now, a newer version of this Adobe Illustrator has this option of save as template. Now, if you make a template of your own, let's say even for your mobile, even for your web, even for your print, now you want to publish it. Now, how do you do that? You can save your work as a template so that you can publish it. You can send it to people so that people can work on it. And also it saves up a lot of time, because you are getting more published and established by, publishing your own templates. So you can save it as a template too. When you click on save as template, it will show you that this is going to be .ait. Select the folder where you want and then click on save, and then it will be saved directly as a template, but not as an AI file. But when you save it, okay, it will be saved as an AI file, but not as a template. But obviously you can also use the AI file as a template, but what happens is that a person can also customize it. But when you are saving it as a template, they will be able to customize it, but you are going to have the trademark, or you are obviously going to have, obviously when a person, let's say publish it a template, you use it, but obviously that person is promoted, or let's say that person is getting established more. You are getting to know that person or that company. So basically you can save it as a template and also publish your work by saving it as a template and then publishing it on sites, even on Adobe stocks. Now, then after saving it as a template, we have is this revert option. Now, what is revert? Revert is also a bit like undo. You do something and you want to revert it back or undo it back. So press on revert and it will revert back to how it was. Then you also have search Adobe stock. Well, just like I said, Adobe has its own sites where they publish their, resources. So I'm going to do is just press on search Adobe stock. It's going to take me to this, let's say site which I have over here. And in this site, you will be able to basically find out whatever you want. Not only just for AI, you can also use 3D, you can use plugins, audios, videos, vectors, photos, and also even generate AI images. Okay, make sure you're connected to your internet and also you are connected to Adobe, okay, account. Now I'm going to do is go off to Adobe Illustrator again, and there you have it. Okay, you can browse that if you want any resources, but one thing is that not all of the things are free in Adobe stock, so sometimes you have to buy the resources too. So make sure to use whichever one you want. But one thing I can ensure is that they have, let's say professional quality resources. You can use them whenever you want. Just go through them or go through Adobe stocks and then find out the one whichever one you want. Then we have is this place. Well, you can place specific object or place. When you click on place, now you want wherever you want, your object to place, or whichever file you want to place it on Adobe Illustrator. Okay. So in the next one we have is export. Exporting your work is a very important thing. Okay. Or a very important command, or a very important process. Now you can export for screens, export as, or also save for web as a legacy. Now you can export for screens. Just click on export for screens and then you can export it as screens. You can also change formats or click on formats, and then you'll be able to create subfolders by formats. You can fix the full document or fix whichever artboard you want to export. It's going to be up to you. And you can also fix the range and also change the format whenever you want. Is it for iOS or Android? It's going to be up to you. You can export it later on, and then you can work on various, let's say devices or whichever one you save it at. Now you can also export as. This interface will open up, and then you can save your, let's say whatever type of format you want to save it as. It also allows you to make, let's say, you know, a photo type of format so that you can work on it, or maybe even just show it as, a presentation, or maybe just as a photo. So this is basically how it works. Then you can also select the export, okay, or let's say export the selected ones. If you have a couple of artboards, select the number of artboards, and then you can select the export selection. But one thing is that when you go off the export and then click on export for screens, you will be able to do the same thing. You can select whichever artboard you want to export it to. So it basically does the same thing, just like I said on export selection. Okay, so use whichever one you want. It's going to give you a vast amount of advantages and also a couple of things which you will need later on. And there are a couple of packages you can use it with later on. Then we have scripts. If you want to apply scripts such as docs or images or other scripts from your PC, you can click on them and apply whichever script you want on Adobe Illustrator while you're working on it. Okay, then we have document setup. If you want to fix up your document, or change the properties of your document a bit, you can see it over here. It's quite the same as working on it before, or maybe like let's say fixing what type of artboard you want. It's kind of like that, but there is a bit of difference, is that you can fix up the grids, you can fix up the grid color, you can fix out bleeds. Well, bleeds is you can fix it on from the beginning, but there's like show images and outline, highlight, substitute. Then there is also this type option. In here you will be able to fix the language, codes, superscripts, subscripts, small caps, export, and all of them. Okay, so if you want to go through them, you can do it. You can even change the color of the background if you want to. You can see it over here. You can fix the grid size. Let's say I want it large. You can see now this is large, but I don't want it. I'm going to just keep it medium, because that just allows me to, obviously work on it more fluently and also work on it very smoothly. So you can use them if you want to, and you can also see discard white overprint in output. You can also select that. It just discards the white overprint when you want to output anything. So you can use it whenever you want, and you can go through them, and you can also edit your artboards through these options. You can see you'll be able to crop it. You can see it over here. It will be like this, but if you want to increase the size, and there we go, we have it. Okay, so use whichever one you want, or any one you desire, or anything, let's say. Okay, then in the next one we have is document color mode. You'll be able to select whichever color mode you want to work on. Now, one thing is that if you have any template, it's going to depend on which color mode it is. Let's say you selected CMYK, but the template you are using is RGB. Now, you might think that what if there is a problem? It will not have any problems. Just one thing it will happen is that it will give you a short notice, is that it is in CMYK. Do you want to revert it, or do you want to change it to RGB if you're working, or if you have RGB on default? Then it will just tell you, just press on continue, and then you'll be good to go. So you don't have to worry about anything. Then you also have file information. If you want to check any information about the document which you're working on, you can see it over here. You can also customize it. Let's say starting for basic, camera data, origin, IPTC, let's say extension, GPS, Photoshop, video data, AEM properties, raw data, and all of them. You can customize it if you want to. You can put in your own data so that you can find it later on, or let's say it just helps you to find out that data or organize it according to your need. And after you're done, just press on OK, and then you also have this option where you want to save it to, and then you will basically find it. Okay, so you just have to fiddle through a couple of these options over here, and then we have is this print option. When you press on print, the print interface will open up where you'll be able to print out your artboard, how you worked on it, and you can select whatever you want. You can fix out whatever type of preset you want, or maybe even couple of things which you have over here: orientation, options, and then general, and then also have print preset, all of them, and fix your printer. And you can also set up your printer from over here. You can press on continue, and after you're done, you just select on them and select whichever printer you want, and then you are good to go when you just press on done and print. Okay, so and the last one we have obviously exit. It will just help you to exit out of Adobe Illustrator. Now, as we are done with this file ribbon of ours in Adobe Illustrator, let's go through a couple of tools, which are going to be the 5 tools of Adobe Illustrator, or the 5 basic tools, or the 5 first basic tools of Adobe Illustrator. Now, you can see that I have a couple of tools over here. We're going to start off with the first 5. Now, the first tool which Adobe Illustrator has to offer is called the selection tool. You can select whichever object you want. You can make margins. You can select it, whatever you want, even if you want to change it, or even if you want to, let's say, just select any object, it will just help you through the selection tool. Make sure to select it. You also have the shortcut key, which is going to help you. If you are selected on any tool, just press on V, and then you will basically see your selection tool has been selected. Then the next one we have is direct selection tool. Now you can select any object. Okay, let me just make an object over here. Okay, as we have it, I'm going to select this tool, and you'll be able to drag it wherever you want. But when you select on this, you'll basically be able to change, or if you have a couple of objects, even if they are grouped up, you'll be able to select any specific object which you have in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, and then you'll be able to customize it or do whatever you want. When you right click on it, you'll basically see group selection tool. It allows you to select multiple objects in your specific workspace. Let's say I'm going to do is put in 2. Now I'm going to do is first off, multiple selection tool. You can see over here, you'll be able to select it all together. But when I use single selection tool, direct selection tool, I'll be able to select this and change or customize it only one at a time. But if you use the group selection tool, it will work on at the same time. Let's say I'm going to do select on all of them. Then I'm going to do is change them, and you can see this is how it will work. You can also select the anchor. You can change it whenever you want, and you can see this is how it works. Okay, so that's going to be up to you how you're going to work with it. The next one we have is called the magic wand tool. It just allows you to customize it. Or, let's say you can select on this and you can see all of them has been selected at the same time. You can see it, how it works. Now, when you go through that, you will basically see that Magic Wand 2 is Y, and it helps you to customize it however you want. Okay. Well, the main function of using this, Magic Wand tool is that it helps a user easily select areas of an image with just one click. You just simply select this Magic Wand tool on the toolbar and choose which part of the image needs to be selected, and your work is done. Well, I'm going to be showing it to you later on when we are going to be working on images. So next tool we have is the lasso tool. Now you can select specific object like this, and you can see that the specific object has been selected. Now I only want this part to be selected. I'm going to do select on this part, and the whole thing will be selected, but just this one. When you press on V, and you can see this part has been selected, and you can drag it out. So this is basically how this lasso tool works in Adobe Illustrator. And the last one we have is the pen tool. It just helps you to draw a line, customize it according to your need. And when you keep it up over here, make sure to use it, and there we go. And you also have this handle which you can use to customize it according to your need. Okay, then the last tool which we have are right click on it, and then we have is the add anchor point. Now you can apply your anchor point right over here. You have to select a segment of the path. Let's say I'm going to do select this segment first, and I'm going to just put the anchor over here. Do select this anchor. I'm going to use don't show again, segment, Control T, and put in your segment or put in your anchor however you want. Okay, you can see it over here like this. This is the anchor, and you can see it over here that this is the anchor or the center over here. Okay, so you'll be able to apply in your anchor whenever you want. Then you can also have this delete anchor. First I'm going to do is right click on it. So I'm going to use pen tool, anchor. I'm going to do is right click on it, add the anchor. You can see it over here. You can change it whenever you want. It's going to be up to you how you're going to work with this anchor. Now we have this anchor point tool. It will just help you find out the anchor of that specific object. Let's say I'm going to do is press on T, and it will just help you intersect or find out the intersect whenever you want. Let's say I'm going to do is find out the intersect. You can see it over here. this is the center. And when I go up over here, this is the center. If I go over here, and I will find basically the center of that specific object. Okay, so this is basically how you'll be able to find out anchors with this tool in Adobe Illustrator. So hope you learned everything about this lesson on knowing about the file ribbon and also the first 5 basic tools of Adobe Illustrator and what functionality it has to offer. So thank you for watching this video up till the end. Now in our next lesson, we're going to learn about the edit ribbon and also the next 5 tools, which are this pen tool, or let's say curvature tool, text type, then we have line segments, and we have this rectangle tool, and also our paintbrush tool. So let's move on to our next lesson.